Back 4 Blood is supposed to be the successor to Left 4 Dead 2, and there are some things that are better in Back 4 Blood, but is everything better? Let's talk about that. There is more weapons in this game than there are in Left 4 Dead. There's also attachments for the weapons, so your weapons are pretty much fully customizable with attachments: extended mag, fast mag, ACOG scope, red dot. You can even put ACOG scope on shotguns or, little submachine guns, which you really don't need on those guns, but sometimes you just want to have them on those guns. Each character has their own passive abilities, like extra offensive inventory, so you can hold pretty much like another frag grenade or pipe bomb. Other characters having increased team movement speed and stuff like that. Nothing like huge, but just some little stat increases. Just like Left 4 Dead, there are safe houses, but this time in this game, there is a buying system. Buying station and a buying system in the safe houses. Instead of there being 4 weapons on the table, or 3 to 4 weapons on the table and 4 medkits, there's a buy station that will have 2 weapons, 2 attachments, and then you can buy like ammo, pipe bombs, and stuff like that. But the weapons and the attachments are both random depending on just when you enter the safe house, it just randomizes, so you actually might get 2 of the same weapon and 2 of the same attachments, or terrible attachments and terrible weapons. It's just completely random with the weapons and attachments in the buy station, but everything else is the same. All attachments and guns have stats attached to them, so there are going to be red arrows and green arrows, but the problem is it's kind of broken, and the red arrows or green arrows don't really mean that much, because sometimes the red arrows will actually increase things that you want to increase, like damage on your gun, but green arrows will actually lower your stats. In fact, I had one item that had a green arrow, but it lowered all the stats on the gun. Like, it made no sense. It was the worst gun, but it had a green arrow. So you cannot rely on arrows. You actually have to sit there and read the stats and make sure that the arrows are actually correct, or what stats are being increased and what stats are being decreased, because you might actually want to keep what you have instead of picking up a different weapon that has a green arrow. The special zombie types are very similar to Left 4 Dead with slight ability and visual differences, but I actually prefer the special zombies in Left 4 Dead compared to this game. Other than like the very, very huge zombie, like I just like giant monsters slash creatures that you gotta fight against because it's cool, but I do prefer the design and the special zombie types in Left 4 Dead compared to this game. There's a card system, so you can have up to 15 cards in a deck, but the thing is, if you have very good cards, if you have 5 very good cards, you might actually want to put only 5 cards in your deck instead of 15 cards, because it randomly, at the beginning of each level, you get to pick 1 card out of 5 randomly selected from your deck each time you go through the mission. But if you only have 5 cards in your deck, you're going to get those 5 cards every time, so you can pick some of the same cards over and over again instead of having to worry about if you get a couple bad cards in your deck. So you want to make sure your deck is only filled with good cards. Take all the bad cards that you don't need for whatever playstyle or build you're going for, and just toss those out. Even if you don't have 15 cards in your deck, it's fine. Only put 5 in there if you need it, because you can pick those same cards over and over again, and then you'll be more powerful. There are also corruption cards that at the beginning of the level, they give you different challenges. You can get more copper, which copper is used at the buying stations to buy ammo, pipe bombs, attachments, guns. Or the corruption cards can make the game more difficult by changing the way zombies and special zombies are. This game has artificial difficulty like lots of games these days. I'm not even mad at games having artificial difficulty that much anymore, but artificial difficulty is not true difficulty, and I just want everyone to know that. I wish more games would stop with this artificial difficulty and have more actual difficulty. So basically, artificial difficulty means that there is no skill involved with winning, or at least you don't need, you know, skill to win at higher difficulties. It means pretty much stats change whether or not you win, like you win or lose depending on your stats, not skills. And it can also be luck based, which this game is both. This game is both, I think this game is luck sometimes depending on you win on the higher difficulties, and it's also stat based on the higher difficulties, because pretty sure on Nightmare you have to have the absolute best cards with the best team to beat the higher difficulties. And so it's basically, you know, you need the top of the line cards and you need to stack some cards to beat the higher difficulties. But anyways, that's all I want to say. Difficulty in this game is not based on skill or playing strategically. It's just basically, do you have the good set of cards, and is your stats getting higher? Do you have the better attachments and cards and stuff on the higher difficulties, at least that is. And that kind of bothered me, because Survivor difficulty, that's the first difficulty, it's just pathetically easy. You don't even really have to try at all during that difficulty, and then you bump it up to Veteran difficulty and it becomes much more difficult, but it's still, you know, possible to beat. You know, it's actually like a challenging difficulty. But then you got Nightmare, which is almost, I want to say almost impossible to beat without a good team and the absolute best cards, because you have to have good weapons, good attachments, good cards, and a good team with good communication to beat Nightmare difficulty. And some of that, yes, I think you should have to have a good team to, you know, beat the highest difficulties when it's a co-op game. But the problem is, it's like, it's not really a difficulty in my opinion, and I guess that just is with a lot of games nowadays, and that just kind of has been bothering me recently, where games just like make it so the enemy kills you in 2 hits instead of like 4 hits, and like, oh, that's increased difficulty, they kill you in 2 hits instead of 4 hits, and it's like, that's not increased difficulty, that's just unfair. Also, I heard, I don't know, and I really haven't searched it up because we're going to find out when the game comes out, but I heard that this game is going to have microtransactions. So, if we're looking at this developer's previous games, it's going to be Evolve. Evolve was their previous game, and let's just hope they do not do the like DLC stuff like they did in Evolve with this game, because it will die so quickly. I'm telling you right now, developers, you will die so quickly. This game will die so quickly like Evolve. But anyways, one thing I need to just say right now is that if you can buy currency, there's an in-game currency, and if you can buy the currency, that means that you can buy the currency to then buy all the cards, which means that the game is pay to win. And you might be wondering, you know, pay to win, how can it be pay to win? But if you're buying currency to then buy all the best cards are used in co-op. The PvP cards, from what I've seen, are not unlocked, like they're all unlocked at the beginning, is from what I've seen so far at least. But in co-op you can buy, you know, you unlock all the cards. So if you're buying the currency and then using that currency to buy all the cards, and then you have all the best cards right away, you can basically not really have to grind or worry or anything. You're going to have the best cards, and then you can just breeze through the game. And some people are going to be like, well, if people want to do that, go ahead. But come on, that's basically pay to win. You know, when you're playing with your team, you want to get more kills than everyone. I know that's what you're thinking. You're like, while you're playing, you're like, I gotta get more kills than my teammates. You know, I gotta get the better stats. I gotta get the better scores. Well, how are you gonna do that when Jimmy over there, you know, you guys just started playing, but he has all the cards already? Anyways, let's start getting through this. The PvP is so much worse. I didn't bother playing it. I'm gonna be honest here. I didn't even bother playing it. I just watched it, and from what I've seen, it's not even as good as Left 4 Dead 2. It's like In Left 4 Dead 2, the PvP was basically you went through the acts in the campaign just like normal, but instead the special zombies were played by people and the survivors were played by people. So that was the PvP. You actually went through the campaigns and the special zombies were played by people and this was played by people. Well, in the PvP in this game, it's not that. You got these tiny maps, and it's these special zombies versus the survivors, and you're like fighting each other and stuff from what I've seen, and it looks terrible. It looks terrible. I didn't even bother playing it after seeing it. I seen this game before I played it, and I didn't even bother playing PvP. And I probably won't ever play PvP. Unless maybe it's changed when it comes out. In fact, actually when it comes out, I'm going to have to play PvP if I want to review the whole game. But it looks horrible. This game has glitches, but I haven't run into any of them that are really game breaking. But I did have a glitch where someone joined my game and then disconnected, and then it duplicated that character, and we actually had that character twice. So I actually had five on my team instead of 4, so I had an extra bot on my team. So and then the bot actually got glitched on this like minigun. So I was actually in the safe house and we were standing there wondering why we couldn't continue, and there was just a bot just way off, just standing on the minigun, not coming to the safe house. I actually had to walk over there, use the minigun myself to get the bot off the minigun, and then as soon as I did that, the bot teleported to the safe house, and then only then could we close the safe house to move on. Overall, from what I played and from what I've seen, this game is fun, but I can't say it's better than Left 4 Dead 2, especially when Left 4 Dead 2 has tons of mods. This game is also $60, which is $40 more than the launch price of Left 4 Dead 2, but Left 4 Dead 2 is actually $10 now instead of $20, but at launch it was $20. But you can definitely have fun in this game. The problem is I'm just not sure that this game will be worth $60, $60+ actually, because it goes to almost $100 this game. This game has a $60 version, a $90 edition, and a $100 edition, which is it really worth $60+ for a Left 4 Dead 2 clone? Pretty much. This game is pretty much a Left 4 Dead 2 clone, but actually some things are worse. So can you really say it's worth $60+? I don't know. I don't know. We will have to see when it releases. But as of right now, from what I've seen, I don't think it's going to be worth $60+. And yes, this game was made by the same people that made Left 4 Dead 2. But remember, it's also made by the same people that made Evolve and try to squeeze all the money out of you that they could. And if they do this game like they did Evolve, it will die just like Evolve.